Sir? Hello? 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 Hello?
Yeah, hello. How are you?
Ma'am, live is going on, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're live now, ma'am.
Yes, sorry, we can hear. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning to all participants.
हेलो रवि जी। हेलो रवि जी।
हाँ सर, आप लाइव सर आप लाइव है सर।
ओके ओके
Good morning, everyone. Yes.
या
Thank you for joining this online session. We are waiting for your questions.
गुड मॉर्निंग ऑल ऑफ यू। Yeah, good morning to all participants. If you have any queries, please write in the chat box in the YouTube link.
I think Devo, we got the first question. So on digital twin by Sangameshwar.
Yes, I am seeing. Yeah, let me open the slide. Sangam. Yeah. So Sangamasa, like you are talking about which part? In digital twin, we have discussed network optimization as well as greenfield analysis. So you are talking about greenfield analysis? Sangamasya, like it will be little bit more clear, then it will help. Okay, greenfield analysis. Okay, so let me share my screen, then I will answer. Later. Yeah. Yes, so my screen is shared now, enter screen. Yeah, I think you are talking about this question. Can you see my screen now? Yeah. So we have 4 markets, okay? So Pune, Mumbai, Ahmedabad and Surat. And we have the demand at each of these 4 markets, okay? So my objective is, as part of greenfield analysis, is to find out where can I locate the DC. That is the only objective as of now. Okay, we can extend this further and create another layer and decide where to locate factory as well. But in this case, we are only restricting our analysis to find out where should I locate the DC. So if you see in the map, we have 4 locations: Ahmedabad, Surat, Mumbai and Pune. So these 4 are the markets. Okay, and I know my yearly demand in these 4 markets. If I have to satisfy this demand at an efficient manner at a minimum cost, so where should I locate my DC? I can locate DC here, I can locate DC here, I can locate DC here, I can locate DC close to Ahmedabad, I can locate DC close to Surat, close to Mumbai, close to Pune. So there are infinite possible options are there. But where should I locate the DC so that I can reach to each of these demand location at a faster rate and at a minimum cost. So that is the objective of greenfield analysis. So therefore, we restricted our analysis to find out where to locate the DC. But we can extend it further and decide where to locate factory as well. But in this network, we have restricted our analysis only to find out the DC. Okay. So we assume that there is factory, so from factory product will come to DC and then from DC it will be served. But my objective here is only to locate DC. I hope this got clear. So any further questions, Sangamesh sir? Is it clear now? Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Sangamesh sir has next question. You never took factory into consideration. So if you see into network optimization, then you will see. Okay. So once you go to network optimization, we have. I'll also share my slide once again. Now, if we move into network optimization slides. Okay. So in network optimization, we have factory, we have distribution center, we have customers. Okay. So in this case, we have decided like where to locate factory. I have 2 options. Should I open both the factory? Should I open one factory? Should I open both the DC or which DC? Should I open V1D, VAPI or both? And how the product will move from factory to DC and DC to demand location. In the network optimization, we have taken this decision where to locate factory. I have 2 possible options. Where to locate this DC, I have 2 possible options. And then how the product will move from factory to DC and from DC to various demand centers. Yeah, thanks, Sangamesh sir. Yes. So next question we have. Next question we have. Omkar has written. I think it has come from one of the participants. How to solve Gini index? Explanation in Hindi possible? Question from, okay. So Arnav has asked one question in the response. Arnav, are you live? If you are live, then I will explain this in Hindi as well. I will try to explain Gini index concept in Hindi. If you are not, then I will respond in writing. Okay. So meanwhile, let me open the slide of Gini index. Arnav Lakhotia. Okay, anyway, this live session will be there. So let me open that slide of Gini index. Okay. Okay, so this is the question of Arnav Lakhotia, which has come as a question here in the response sheet. So he is asking about the Gini index, and if I can explain it in Hindi. My Hindi is not so good, but I will try to explain. So this is the formula of Gini index. So Gini index at node T can be written as 1 minus, let us say you have two class, okay, k equal to 2. So I will be 1 to 2. So probability of, in place of probability I will use the term proportion. Proportion of observations belongs to class 1 given at node T square minus proportion of class 2 given at node 2 square. Okay, so if I want to be more specific, so let us say you have two class. I am using my notepad now. So at any node, suppose you are at node 1, okay, you are at node 1 and you have class 1 100%, in class 2 you have 0% observation. That means all the observations belong to only one class. Okay, so in that case, how can I use this formula? So it will be 1 minus 100% means 1 square minus 0 square इक्वल टू 0. ओके, तो मैं इसको हिंदी में बताता हूँ. तो इस क्लास में मेरे पास 100% ऑब्जर्वेशन से एंड सेकेंड क्लास में ओनली 0%. तो द फॉर्मूला है 1 माइनस 100% मीन्स 1 स्क्वायर माइनस स्क्वायर इक्वल टू 0. सिमिलरली अगर क्लास 2 में 100% ऑब्जर्वेशन अगर क्लास 2 में है एंड क्लास 1 में ऑब्वियसली देन 0% होगा, तो उसको ऐसे लिख सकते हैं 1 माइनस 0 स्क्वायर माइनस 1 स्क्वायर इक्वल टू 0. ओके, सिमिलरली अगर क्लास 1 में 50% है, क्लास 2 में 50% है, तो 1 माइनस 0.5 स्क्वायर माइनस 0.5 स्क्वायर इक्वल टू 0.5. तो ये है जीन इंडेक्स का फॉर्मूला. बट इफ आई शो यू in our case, okay, so in our case नोड 0 में 700 ऑब्जर्वेशन था, उसमें से 447 yes, 253 no. Okay, so 447 means 64%, 253 means 36%. So 447 divided by 700 is 64%, 253 divided by 700 equal to 36%. Okay, so now in index कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? 1 माइनस 0.64 स्क्वायर माइनस 0.36 स्क्वायर. अगर इसको कैलकुलेट करेंगे आप तो आपको 0.46 आएगा. ठीक है ना? तो ये एक फॉर्मूला है. तो हमारा जो टी है ना, दे हैव आल्सो यूज अनदर फॉर्मूला. दिस इज आल्सो करेक्ट. सो दैट कुड बी रिटन एज, सो 1 माइनस let us say a square minus b square ये है. तो इसको ये भी लिख सकते हैं. तो a प्लस बी स्क्वायर, तो फॉर्मूला क्या है? a स्क्वायर प्लस बी स्क्वायर प्लस 2ab. ओके, so this is the formula of a plus b whole square. Now in this case, a means proportion observation belongs to class 1, b means proportion of observations belongs to class 2. And we know that a plus b equal to 1. Okay, let us say 100% belongs to class 1, that means 0% will belongs to class 2. So this sum should be 100%. So a plus b will always be 1. Okay, so that is the criteria. Because in this case I have two class 1, class 2. In the yes 64%, no 36%. So if I know yes, I can calculate no. So this is my a, this is my b. So a plus b square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab, and a plus b will always be 1. So I can write 1 equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Okay. So now our Gini index formula was the original formula is this 1 minus a square minus b square. So 1 minus a square minus b square will be 2ab. Okay. So the same formula I can also write it as 2AB. So instead of this formula, if you write 2 into 0.64 into 0.36, you will also get 0.46. So both the formula are fine. 1 minus a square minus b square or 2ab. Whatever you use, you will get the same result. So in the exam, in the assignment, we had given the answer using 2ab in place of 1 minus a square minus b square. So hope it got clarified. So if I again go back to the formula, so this is the general formula. In our case, since we have only 2 class, I can also write it like this: 1 minus a square minus b square or 2ab. So both will give me the same thing because a plus b equal to 1. This is the criteria. If a plus b were not equal to 1, then I would not have written this calculation. So hope it got clarified. Okay, thank you. Yeah, hope or now you got your answer. Okay, so thank you. Now next question is, I think next question is related to pilferage in warehousing during sorting of products and instance. Yeah, Professor Sushmita, I think this is to you.
No, I don't think it was in my lectures.
Okay. Then, Professor Priyanka.
This has to do with inventory holding. So I have not covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sangam Mr. had the last question. Yes. The last one. Last question. Yes. In your discussion, you informed that about pilferage during sorting. Okay, during storing of products. Okay. Storing of products and incidents. There is no instance for pilferage when you are storing in warehouse. Sangam, can you be more specific, like which lecture? I think then it will be easier for us to answer. Recent session is week 12. You are talking about week 12? Okay, so meanwhile Dinesh, tracking and tracing. Okay. Meanwhile
Tracking
Dinesh.
and tracing would be mine. I don't recall this exact discussion, but anyhow, it is informed about pilferage during storing. There is no insurance for pilferage when you are storing in a warehouse. Yeah, as far as I remember, I have not covered so much on the insurance aspects. In track and trace, I have mostly focused on the role of tracking the inventory and finding timestamps for the various activities. But yes, when it comes to insurance, I guess it depends upon the kind of activities which are going to be performed and what is the scope of coverage that we are seeking. And definitely it makes sense that if you are storing the items in your warehouse, the responsibility is with you for managing the items and ensuring that they are safe. So if there is pilferage, it is definitely a security concern that's created at your end. So insurance would be applicable when your materials are in transit and you are not personally carrying out the activities, so you have outsourced it elsewhere. So I hope that covers the discussion. But I don't recall covering about insurance while storing. The focus of the track and trace session was to mainly talk about how we can track the items and create a trace of the products. So this could be helpful when you are claiming insurance for the various activities, because once it has been dispatched from your location, and if there was an issue which happened during transit, then you have the information that you have dispatched, so you are able to claim from your side that from your end you have done everything possible, and the main issue would have occurred during transit. So I hope that clarifies the query which has come in. But anyway, thank you for pointing that out, Sangameshwar. Thanks a lot. Sangameshwar, I hope that was helpful. I would thank you for your comment, but if any other observation, you can just let us know in the chat box. Thank you, Sangameshwar. Yes, others can mention their queries in the chat box. Since this live session is available, we are available for answering any queries. We can go over some of the content also if required. So in the chat box, you can just let us know. Else there is also the response sheet in which we have a couple of queries, but we have already resolved one of them.
Yeah, I think there is one question about panel exams, that do we have solver optimization questions, like there were questions in the assignment. So no, in the panel exam there will not be such questions, but yes, some calculation based questions should be there because this is an analytics based course.
Yes, ma'am. So just to add with Priyanka ma'am, there will not be any you don't require any Excel solver. Okay, although the conceptual question will come, but you don't require Excel solver to solve it. You might require calculators to calculate it, to know the concept. So you must go through the concept, understand it, but will not ask you to solve it and reproduce the results. Okay? You don't need to carry laptop, neither you need Excel server.
So there's a comment by Sangameshwar. You did inform third-party warehouse will do freight saving by using Uber-like on-site transportation. Again, I'm not recalling exactly which lecture this would have come up, but what I understand from this is, yes, third-party logistics players will themselves outsource their activities as well, sometimes, and primarily transportation, for which they might not have their own fleet of vehicles. So they may seek out other companies which provide trucks or tempos for any kind of transportation services. So this is quite a common occurrence in the Indian scenario. There is a lot of outsourcing which happens for a variety of activities. Even when you outsource your own activities to a third-party logistics player, they themselves might continue outsourcing smaller activities which they don't want to handle, but they would want to control. So they would have their own set of agreements with these other parties that they have outsourced to as to what will be the time of delivery, what will be the dispatch conditions and everything. Does this help in cost saving? Theoretically, this should, because these companies to whom they are outsourcing are themselves in some ways aggregators of transportation businesses from various clients. So there will be some amount of cost savings that should be possible by outsourcing your transportation activities to other third parties. But of course, this has to be carefully evaluated before making a choice, which is why mostly organizations will always be facing this question as to whether they should carry out their own activities, whether it is transportation or even manufacturing or warehousing, or should they be outsourcing it, which would be more cost effective, is a decision that they need to always evaluate from time to time. But yes, third party logistics is able to provide reasonable cost savings. This is there in a fairly recent report on the analysis of logistics costs, where this industry is growing quite well and able to bring in a lot of cost savings to several customers. So that is something that I would encourage you to go through. This information might be there in one of the initial lectures that I gave on the role of finance in operations. So there is a series of discussions in that. There is a report which I have cited, which is the analysis of logistics costs in India. So I would encourage you to go through that report. It's a very nice description of what are the kinds of costs incurred in various activities within logistics. So I hope this, it's more of an observation that you have made, so thank you for that. Right, so good observations, Sangameshwar, on the credit period as well given by on-site aggregators. Yes, so it depends, like I said, you have to evaluate these decisions very carefully based upon the financial metrics of your own business as to whether you outsource or not. So there is another query on control towers.
Yes, so this please give us some practical advantage. Okay, yeah, this is from Raju. Yeah, so there are a lot of advantages of control tower, as you have mentioned in the lectures also. It gives you a lot of visibility, it gives you traceability of the product. So let me just quickly open that slide. That will, again I'll reiterate. Yeah, so these are some advantages of the control tower as we have discussed in the lectures. So it has the capability of real-time visibility. Okay, so I'll get to know where my raw material is and from which supplier the product has been taken, then who is the manufacturer. So I'll be able to get real-time visibility of all my supply chain partners. Okay. So it has the capability of integration of data from various sources. Uh, it helps you to automate various processes. It also has the capability of doing analytics and get some insights out of it. Then it helps you for production planning and control. I will get to know at which place how much inventory is there. It has the full-time visibility. Suppose I want to know that at distributor level how much inventory is there, at retailer level how much inventory is there, what is the demand, based on the demand how much more inventory do I need. So it helps me for production planning as well as control. Then it also helps me for exception management. Suppose some disaster happened and one of the supplier location got disrupted. So what would be the alternative supplier? From where do I get the alternative products? So if I have a control tower, I will get that visibility. I also get the decision making support, which I can do it using control tower. Then it also helps me for performance monitoring and KPI tracking. Uh, if you have a control tower, you not only get visibility, you will also be able to see the major KPIs. You can track it continuously. You will be able to see their performance on your screen. Since everybody will be connected using that control tower, you can access. Suppose I want to see at my DC in Himachal Pradesh what is the current stock. Okay, whether how much utilization of my resources are happening. So all of this can be tracked using control tower. Okay. And then the next question was, let me go back. Yeah, next question was current big companies which are using control tower. The most of the supply chain companies that MNCs are using control tower. So Amazon, Walmart, name any big supply chain companies, any big companies, you will have control tower. Okay, so they will use control tower to have better traceability, to have better visibility, to do production planning and control, to do exception management. So all of these are possible, and most of these top companies are using it because this is one of the technologies which are helping the supply chain manager to connect with other partners and to have the better visibility. It's like if you see in the control tower name came because if you see the airport, they have a control tower. So they control from there. So the idea is every information will come to one place and from there you can control everything. So most of these companies has this control tower nowadays, and if they don't have, they are aspiring to have. So let us say well, Walmart, Amazon, Procter & Gamble, any company you can take name, they will have. Like if you see in the logistic industry, Mayors is one of the top player. Mayors, you must have heard it. So they have lot of shipping activities going on. So their ships goes from one location to another location. If I want to find out at this moment where my current shipment is, many times they carry cold, like perishable items. So I need to find out what is the temperature. I need to find out what is the humidity inside the container. So if I have a control tower, I can trace it, I can track it. So most of these logistic companies, specifically those who are into the logistics of perishable items, they have this control tower, and almost all of the big MNCs are using it. In the lectures, I have given 4 case studies. So I am sure you must have gone through this. So if you go through it, you will get more ideas how control tower helps the company. So that was by Raju. I hope you got the answer. And there are a lot of reports. If you want to read more, since we didn't have much time, we have not focused in detail. But I would suggest there is a report by BCG. They have very good report how control tower can be useful. And then I think, yeah, BCG report which I have read, it was very nicely mentioned how various companies are using control tower. If you search in it, you will get it. So most of these consultancy firms, those who are into supply chain consultancy, they are coming up with these reports. So I strongly encourage that you read those to get more insights. But we have given 3-4 case studies for you to understand. So thank you. Yeah. Yes, participants, if you have any more questions, please type in.
Yeah, please type the question, and it would be helpful if you can mention which week you're referring to, so that we know the queries with respect to which topic.
Yes, yes. It's an interesting question.
Yeah, so it's okay.
You can answer.
It's a very interesting question by Mr. Piyush Bhatia. He is asking that what should be the roadmap to build a career in supply chain analytics. As we all know that yeah, we can observe that there are a lot of ways in which the data is being captured in supply chain, and that is what we have also tried to demonstrate it in different weeks. Like there were certain weeks which were focused totally on ways of capturing data corresponding to the products being produced, moved, stored, and managed from point to point. So we know that there is abundant availability of data, and it's necessary that we take benefit of this data available to us and take proper decisions on that. And that's why the role of analytics comes over here. And in a very interesting way, this large data which is available to us can be analyzed, and corresponding decisions can be taken. So this we have tried to demonstrate from time to time basis by showing its application in different domain of supply chain related problems. We have tried to capture everything from end to end way, the way the data can be captured, the role of different technologies, and how that data can be shared and how it can be analyzed, and what are the different types of algorithms or machine learning algorithms you can say which can be applied over here. So that is that's the purpose of the course, and which we are trying to highlight it again and again in all our sessions, I can say. Talking about its career perspective, obviously we know that the role of supply chains has evolved after pandemic time, and it is not about just to ensure that the product should be available to the customer depending upon the company's policies or company's plans. Now it's like customer is becoming the king. He has always been the king, but now the focus is more on fulfilling the customer requirements, and that's why there is a heavy competition between the companies to see that how they can survive in this competitive world. And that's why the role of analytics is coming and is taking a very important role over here to see that how the supply chains can compete. So in today's time, it's not about competing. The competition between the companies is not only on product characteristics or product offerings, but also they are competing in terms of their supply chains. Which companies can offer you products in a better way, in a better quality, in a better shape, and in better price and better characteristics in everything. So you can see that's why the role of supply chain it has changed a lot, especially after pandemic, and because we realized the role of importance, the importance of supply chain during the pandemic time. And that's why there is, when we talk about the career perspective of supply chain analytics, it's going to rise like anything. Anybody who's going to work in this area will definitely going to rise. As we know that the supply chains in future are again going to become more complex, more global, and more challenging. So in this, we can see that the analytics is going to play a critical role, and definitely it is one of the career perspective which students or people who are very interested in analytics should explore and should look for their prospective career in future. So I hope Piyushi have answered your question. If Debu, Sushmita, you would like to add on this?
Yeah, I think it's a good question and you summarized it well, Priyanka. And mainly, if we are talking about roadmap to build a career, if we are looking at it, you can go for a postgraduate program. There are variety of opportunities available. You can carry out a master's in operations. We have in our institute at IIM Mumbai, we have an MBA for operations itself, which you can maybe pursue. Lots of other institutes also have these kinds of possibilities. That's one, and where you will get the idea is that if you choose a course where you get a good amount of exposure to analytics as well as supply chain management combined. And in our course, as ma'am was mentioning, is we have given you the overview of the domains, but a lot is actually left for you to understand, especially the theoretical aspects and the mathematics behind analytics, for which it will be good if you take specific courses focused on that aspect, let us say with respect to optimization, with respect to statistics, data analysis, and with respect to simulation. So these are the core areas for development when you are looking at a career in analytics, specifically supply chain oriented or operations oriented. Even in manufacturing sector also you could look at this. There are a variety of places where such capabilities are required. A lot of companies nowadays are hiring in the logistics sector itself. They are hiring data scientists who can help out with the analytical problems, and they primarily look for those who have a master's at least, and they prefer PhDs, but they at least look for a master's. So if you are doing bachelor's in engineering, it would be quite good if you can also do a master's, and then it would be helpful for you to get a role in supply chain analytics oriented kinds of fields. Whether it's in last mile delivery, the companies which are working last mile delivery, such as your food delivery companies or express delivery, courier logistics, many of them are actually actively looking for people in analytics background. Also in other organizations, also service sectors as well, where they are looking at developing some kind of planning tools and models. They would really like to hire those with an analytics background. So my suggestion would be yes, it's a very good career prospect. It is only going to get more and more required in our country. Interestingly, it's a domain which has not been very heavily explored as well. Lot of foreign companies abroad, they have a lot of analytics exposure, which is expected from the employees. But in India, that is still growing. We are still not incorporating analytics in a lot of our decision making. So there is huge amount of scope. Even in public sector organizations also, let's say those who are working in healthcare sector or in food sector, there is huge amount of scope for analytics usage. These concepts which have been discussed like blockchain, control towers, digital payments, they have a huge amount of potential in our country. So naturally there will also be a requirement for people who can specialize in these domains. So any masters which gives you a good technology background, operations research background, analytics background would be really very useful. And definitely it is a kind of capability that you would have acquired for life. These are the kind of skill sets which are never going to go out of relevance. So it's something that we would also encourage you to do. And this course mainly was to sensitize a lot of the participants to take up such kind of roles as well. That's also that is the reason why we did this under the PM Gati Shakti initiative, which is looking at building supply chain analytics, supply chain logistics analytics skill sets among the general population in the country. So we have a huge amount of people to reach out to. So hopefully this encourages you in that direction. So thanks a lot for taking part in the course and also for asking this question, and I'm sure that you will do a good job of it as well. So Professor Debabrata might want to add to that.
Yeah, so thank you, Professor Priyanka ma'am and Professor Sushmita for summarizing it nicely. So I was thinking, talking about PM Gati Shakti. Mumbai is the nodal like hub for PM Gati Shakti master plan. So if you visit our website, there is a tab called PM Gati Shakti. You will be able to see a lot of courses offered by other IIM Mumbai as well as other institute, and various industries events are happening. So ministry as well as government has a lot of focus now on logistics and supply chain. So they want to bring down the cost to less than 10% of GDP. Right now it's around 14 to 15%. So it's a huge reduction, 4 to 5%. So therefore they need skilled resources. Skill does not mean only skill in terms of the hardware skill. They need skill in terms of analytics. So therefore this course will be much more useful to you. As well as Professor Sushmita and Priyanka, they have mentioned that there are various avenues to enhance your skill. So on top of it, like I would like to add like two, three things. If you think 10, 15 years back, we had only data, numbers. We used to analyze the numbers and get forecasts. But now you have AI and ML, in which you can analyze text data, you can analyze image data, you can analyze videos data. There are a lot of warehouse, specifically if I name a few, IKEA. They are doing a lot of video analytics to improve their efficiency in the warehouses. So therefore, there are some companies who are actually using this image, video as well as text data, which 10, 15 years back was difficult because we did not have cloud computing facility, we did not have like supercomputer to do these calculations. But now we can easily do it, and we have generative AI tools as well as advanced deep learning algorithm, which has capabilities to analyze this video, audio, and image files, which has given a lot of capabilities as well as enhanced decision making power. So therefore, not only restrict yourself to numbers and data, you also look into other non like unstructured data, which is image, text, and audio and video files. So therefore, take courses and build careers, keeping the future in mind. What will happen 15 years ahead? I think that would be a good roadmap for you. So thank you for this insightful question. Yes, participants, so if you have any more queries, please write it in the chat box. Some of the questions are related to the hall ticket. I think Omkar ji has answered.
If any queries, you can add in the chat box, please, and you can mention the lecture number. Omkar has mentioned that if there are no queries, we will also be able to stop the session. So there is one query from Piyush. While making analysis, we have to make lot of assumptions, but in real world, there will be lot of constraints.
I think we have a very interesting question again by Piyush. So he has asked that while making analysis, we have to make lot of assumptions, but in real world, there are a lot of constraints. Then how to close the gap? Okay, so Piyushi, see what happens if you talk about the real life problems. Obviously, real life problems will have lot of challenges, and if we start incorporating all those challenges and problems in our solutions, obviously getting that optimal solution will take lot of your efforts, and there is also no such guarantee that you are going to get a solution which is optimal in nature. So what we try to do is that instead of hitting on the optimal solution, we try to take certain assumptions with the help of which the problem can be simplified and it can be solved, it is approachable, and the solution that you are getting is not optimal, but at least it is near to the optimal. So even though if you are able to generate a solution which is near to the optimal, it is good enough and incorporates good savings in the company's activity. So that is why instead of hitting on to the optimal, onto the real life problem and taking care of all the assumptions in all the real life complexity in one go, it's better to take certain assumptions and make the problem simple. Try to make it in a form which can be solved comparatively with lesser resources, so that at least the solution that you have got is close enough to the optimal solution. And that's why we find that there are different ways of solving the same problem. You always have to find out that uh, solution method by which you are able to reach to the optimal solution in minimum effort, with minimum efforts, and the gap between the optimal solution and your solution is as low as possible. I hope I have answered your query, Mr. Piyush. Okay. Dear participants, if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask us.
मैम क्वेश्चंस नहीं है तो आप वाइंड अप कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, अभी क्वेश्चन तो नहीं आ रहे, तो 5 मिनट और वेट कर लेते हैं, क्योंकि 11 बजे से 12 बजे तक टाइम देना.
यस सर.
I am new to this live chat. Please explain.
I think we have addressed all the queries, right, Debu?
Yes, most of the all the queries are addressed. And wait, Suman has a question, but I don't know what is your question. Please write your question, Suman. Like what you want us to explain. Yeah, thanks to Sangamesh sir. I think you are one of the participants who are very much enthusiastic as well as interactive. Yeah, so thank you for your thought-provoking questions. Yes, it really helps us. Yes.
And thank you, Sangameshwar. Thank you to all the participants who have joined us online, and we are thankful to everyone for joining this course, and we hope that this course has helped you in understanding the supply chain digitization and also how analytics can be used in supply chain related problems. So I'm sure that okay, good to know about Sangameshwarji. He is a supply chain management trainer. Okay, and it's really good to see you over here as a trainer. You have joined this course. We're looking forward for the more questions from your end. Everyone, please feel free to write to us. We are trying our best to resolve it.
Thank you everyone for your queries. I hope you were able to answer. Wish you all the best for the exams, and hope you found this course useful. And I hope you are able to pick up a role in supply chain soon. So there's one last question by Piyush. Any thought on multimodal scope in India, in SCM in context of India, and any case study? It's a good question, Piyush. Although I have not covered about multimodal logistics in my lectures, but maybe I can just give a brief, and then the other faculty also can share their views. It has definitely a huge amount of scope in India as part of the logistics initiatives taken up by government. Multimodal logistics parks are being set up in different clusters, which will allow for the quick transfer of goods from one kind of mode to another. This is the kind of facilities that are being set up actually, and this is one of a very important requirement, because in India most of the logistics dependence is on road logistics. That means transfer and transit by truck. So multimodal logistics is about connecting various modes of transport very quickly. Huge amounts of delays happen because we are waiting for materials to be loaded from one kind of mode to another. Whether you are talking about a port or the railways, huge amounts of delays happen over here, and this can really impact the logistics service that is being provided. So yes, this has a very good scope in India. Regarding case studies, I do not have anything on the top of my mind which I can mention right now, which is where maybe I can request the other faculty, but if we can get some other inputs, we will definitely share that content with you on the discussion forum. But yes, it's a good point that you have raised. I'll hand it over to the other two faculty also for their inputs.
Well, I agree with Professor Sushmita, and yeah, if there is any case study, we'll definitely share. Thank you, Pooja.
I think there are certain requests. We can look at, onto this request maybe later. There are certain requests related to cases and all. So we have tried to share many cases in the sessions, Mr. Raju, and like if you look, please look for the last the week 12 sessions where we have discussed about introduction of digital solutions in supply chain and how it can benefit the supply chains in different perspective. So maybe that will help in resolving your query related to case studies. So please look into this week 12 sessions. It just has released, I think last Friday only it got released. Yeah, Sanmeshwarji, you are right. Maruti has reduced emissions. So instead of road, if you are shifting to rail mode, obviously that is going to affect your emissions a lot and your emissions will get reduced. Yeah, thank you, Piyushi. So Piyush, I would encourage you to, I mean, those who are interested in multimodal logistics, please look up the recent initiatives by ministry. It comes under Ministry of Road Transport, and you will find that of late there has been a lot of discussion on this, which has come under the aegis of Bharatmala project. So a lot of work is actually happening from the northeast side of the country, where they are trying to build a multimodal logistics park in Assam. That is what they have mentioned. And you know, Assam, a lot of new initiatives have come up, like the semiconductor manufacturing sector also has come up over there. So these multimodals together, you can think about it. There will be a good amount of synergy that is going to happen, because the idea of multimodal logistics park is to bring synergy in clusters of companies, so that there is not much of inefficiency which is built by in making a certain product as such. So let us say we are talking about textile clusters. They would like to keep multimodal logistics park near a textiles cluster. So this is the way they want to encourage clusters to grow. So it's very interesting what ministry is trying to do. I would really encourage all of you to look at this particular initiative. Definitely explore. This comes under our national logistics policy. It's also coming under various initiatives. A lot of work which is happening. So thanks Piyush for raising that query, and please go through these initiatives. I think we have come to the end of the session.
Yes, you can stop now. Yeah. Okay, so thank you all the participants, and special thanks to NPTEL team, Raviji and Omkarji, for your support, and thanks to our TA also. Yes, and thanks to all the participants for your continuous like engagement in this course in the various form. You are asking questions in discussion forum as well as live session, so which will definitely help us to further improvise the concept, and I am sure many of the learners will learn and apply some of this concept in real life also. So thank you, look forward to seeing you. Let's see if we can plan one more live session before the exam, and depending upon our schedule we'll let you know. So all the best for your exams.
All the best to all the participants for their final exam. Thank you everyone, and thank you NPTEL team for this online and live session.
Thanks everyone. I think we can end the session.
Yes, yes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone.